Rome doesn't care if you're jet-lagged, baffled by the lack of cold brew, or don't understand why dinner doesn't start at 6 p.m. It's been here for nearly 3,000 years, and it's not about to hold your hand. This city hits you all at once. Ruins, religion, pasta, chaos, and dares you to keep up. So where do you start? Rome is not a checklist. It's a fever dream of emperors, popes, and everyday Romans screaming at each other over parking spaces. You can't see it all, but you can see the parts that matter. Neighborhood by neighborhood, we're giving you the good stuff, cutting through the fluff, and showing you the top things to see and do in Rome.
Today, I'm gonna give you the formula of how to have the most epic time right here in the city. I'm Angel Castellanos for the tour guide, and these are the top things to do right here in Rome.
This is where it all went down. The Colosseum, the Forum, the political theater and literal blood sport of empire. You stand here and you're standing on bones, layers of power, collapse, and ego. Start at the Colosseum. Touristy? Yeah, of course. Worth it? Absolutely. Go underground or walk on the floor where gladiators died for applause. Don't just snap a pic. Feel the weight of spectacle. It opened in 80 AD with 100 days of games, and there's no better place to feel the glory of Rome than on the arena floor.
I just walked through the Gladiator's Gate and I'm instantly transported to ancient Rome. No other site in Rome does this. And this floor, which means sand in Latin, was where the gladiators fought.
The Arch of Constantine is right outside the Colosseum. This triumphal arch was thrown together using pieces stolen from older monuments, because even ancient Rome recycled. It was built to celebrate Constantine's victory over the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, a turning point that helped make Christianity the empire's official religion. Next door, you have the Roman Forum. It looks like a pile of rocks, but this was downtown Rome with places like the Senate. The speaker's platform is where leaders address the masses and where ambition often met a dagger. Caesar's funeral pyre is also here.
This is the Via Sacra, which runs right through the Roman Forum to the political and economic heart of the ancient city.
This was the epicenter of ancient Roman life. You can still walk the same route today, where the stones remember everything.
One of the really cool things about coming up to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill is you get incredible views of Rome. Remember, Rome is a city of hills, and when you're on top of the Palatine, you get very distant views of the whole city. So take some time to come up here and take in the spectacular views of ancient Rome.
Legend says Romulus founded his city here in 753 BC after killing his twin brother. It's one of the legendary 7 hills of Rome and offers the most stunning views over both the Forum and the Circus Maximus.
You can't come to Rome without visiting this part. It's an essential part of learning of the ancient history.
Mega monuments like this and many more are covered in our Rome in a Day tour and allow you to skip the line and hear stories from a passionate local guide. For more details, check out the link in the description below. Don't miss Trajan's Market and Column across the street that is part of the larger imperial forums. The world's first mall and a 100-foot-tall victory lap carved in stone. Every scene of conquest etched in obsessive detail. The column tells the story of Trajan's Dacian wars in a spiral relief that stretches over 600 feet if unwrapped. The Capitoline Museum is skipped over by rookies, but shouldn't be missed. You'll see Constantine's dismembered head, the she-wolf nursing Rome's mythical founders, and more stolen Greek art that you can catalog in a day.
Capitoline Museum was established in 1471 by Pope Sixtus IV, and we really learned the story of Rome through this museum. So if you want to check out the oldest museum in the world, you gotta come to Rome. Take that, France.
Then, nearby, head to the Basilica of San Pietro in Vincoli. Inside, behind the barriers and iPhones, is Michelangelo's Moses. The beard, the horns, the rage. This isn't a biblical figure. It's a man 1 second away from standing up and tearing the place apart.
Pope Julius II hired Michelangelo to do his tomb. And what you see behind me is the remaining part of that particular tomb. And right above Moses, you see the Pope himself laying down, maxing and relaxing with the papal tiara.
This is where the empire was built, on blood, marble, and ambition. You're walking on the same roads as emperors, gladiators, and gods in the making. To skip the line and see the sites with a licensed guide, check out our tours and online guidebook with curated information on maximizing your time and increasing your fun. Hook me up with a like and subscribe so I don't get fired. I really love this job. Technically, it's its own country. Spiritually, it's in a different league. Gold, marble, incense, and a whole lot of Catholics. Start at St. Peter's Basilica. It's the largest church in the world, capable of holding over 60,000 people, and its sheer scale will short-circuit your sense of proportion. Inside, you're surrounded by masterpieces. Michelangelo's Pietà rests in a hushed shadow near the entrance. Bernini's bronze baldacchino soars above the altar, and you'll find Raphael's final painting, The Transfiguration, glowing with divine tension and human agony. This isn't just art, it's spiritual propaganda at its most beautiful. You're standing over the bones of a fisherman whom Jesus called to be the first pope. Before you even enter the church, you're standing in one of the greatest theatrical sets ever built, Piazza San Pietro. Bernini's colonnades wrap around like arms embracing you, while a 4,000-year-old Egyptian obelisk anchors the square, a relic of empire now turned holy centerpiece. Climbing the Dome of St. Peter's is a rite of passage, literally a winding claustrophobic journey that spits you out on the best view of Rome. From the top, you can see the entire city unfold like a story, the Tiber snaking through it, the Sistine Chapel below, and the chaos of Rome ahead of you. Up next, you have the greatest collection of museums in all of Europe, the Vatican Museums, which may seem endless or overwhelming, but worth every step. The Hall of Maps, the Raphael Rooms, Greek statuary just for the heck of it, and then the Sistine Chapel. Don't talk, don't film, just look up when you enter. Michelangelo didn't even want this job. Then he changed art forever. The Last Judgment fresco on the altar wall was so intense, it got censored after his death. This is also where the papal conclave is held, the College of Cardinals locked inside under Michelangelo's ceiling, casting ballots until white smoke tells the world a new pope has been chosen. Don't sleep on Castel Sant'Angelo, a fortress, a prison, a papal panic room.
So these doors are from the 16th century, and this is what I love about these experiences. You can actually touch and feel history.
Climb to the top, have a coffee, and watch Rome unfold beneath you as you enjoy one of the best views of Michelangelo's dome. Originally built as Emperor Hadrian's tomb, it became a refuge of popes during times of siege, and one of the best frescoed rooms in all of Rome is here.
We're in the Pauline room, and Pope Paul III decided to redo the papal apartments that were up here in this humanist style. This room is just extraordinary and one of the best parts of the whole visit, to be honest.
The walk across Ponte Sant'Angelo is Rome at its finest.
In 1669, Pope Clement IX had Bernini completely transform it into this Baroque masterpiece that we know today.
If a bridge could preach, this one would. Legend says Bernini wanted each angel to express a different agony of the Passion. Art, power, and Christendom collide in the world's smallest country with the biggest spiritual footprint. From Michelangelo's ceiling to Bernini's colonnade, the Vatican hits hard. This is the beating heart of Rome. It's where every alley ends in a masterpiece, and every square has a story soaked in blood, beauty, or both.
The Pantheon is an absolute game changer and something you don't want to miss because it's one of the most important monuments to ancient Rome.
It's been standing for 2,000 years. Walk past the Corinthian columns made of Egyptian granite, each standing over 39 feet tall. Stand under the dome, still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world, as you're surrounded by greats like Raphael and the first kings of Italy, and marvel at the epicenter of the greatest empire the world has ever known. Santa Maria sopra Minerva is just a few steps from the Pantheon and is one of the few Gothic churches left in Rome, and holds the tomb of St. Catherine of Siena and is filled with hidden masterpieces.
Just outside of the church, you have a Bernini masterpiece with an Egyptian obelisk right on top.
A bit of whimsy, a bit of power, all Roman. The Trevi Fountain. Yeah, it's a zoo, except if you visit before 8 a.m. or after 10 p.m., it's also pure magic.
So you may be impressed by the beautiful Baroque facade of the Trevi Fountain, but at the end of the day, this is just another one of ancient Rome's public building works. Now, the tradition says that you have to throw 3 coins into this fountain.
The Spanish Steps is not about the stairs, it's about the scene. Officially known as the Scalinata di Trinità dei Monti, they earned the nickname Spanish Steps from the nearby Spanish embassy to the Holy See, located in Piazza di Spagna. At the foot of the stairs, don't miss Bernini's Fontana della Barcaccia, a half-sunken boat spilling water into the square, said to be inspired by a flood that left a real boat stranded there.
One of my favorite squares in Rome, almost in between the Pantheon and the Vatican, is Piazza Navona.
Baroque fountains, street performers, overpriced restaurants, all of it is beautiful. Bernini's Fountain of Four Rivers is the crown jewel in the center, while his rival Borromini's church is just across the square. Campo dei Fiori is a market by day and a bar crawl by night.
So this is what Campo dei Fiori looks like in the morning, but at night it becomes a young person's playground with loads of young people stepping in the square to enjoy a good time.
Santa Maria Maggiore is one of Rome's 4 major basilicas and the only one said to be built under the direct orders of a pope following a miraculous snowfall in August. Its golden mosaics and marble floors blend pagan Rome with early Christian grandeur, and today it's home to important Christian relics and the final resting place of popes, most recently Pope Francis. Once a spine of ancient Rome's games and parades, Via del Corso is a long, straight boulevard that follows the path of the Via Flaminia, offering a front-row seat to the daily theater of Roman street life.
This is the pedestrian-only part, right near the Spanish Steps. Everyone is just hanging out, strolling, and really relaxing.
Swing over to Piazza del Popolo. Once the grand gate to the city, now a wide-open stage for people watching and political drama. Step inside Santa Maria del Popolo, where Caravaggio's saints stare back at you from the dark with the kind of violence that only oil paint and divine inspiration can deliver. Look for the conversion of St. Paul and the crucifixion of St. Peter, 2 of his most dramatic and theatrical masterpieces. You can get good coffee just about anywhere in Rome, but the Centro Storico has a high concentration of bars that actually care. Sip a shot at Cafe Greco near the Spanish Steps, one of Rome's oldest coffee houses where artists, revolutionaries, and tourists have pulled up a chair. Near the Pantheon, San Eustachio earns its hype with serious espresso craftsmanship, while Tazza de Oro roasts beans right in-house and lives up to its golden reputation. If you're feeling modern, Barnum near Campo dei Fiori offers specialty coffee with style. Coffee here isn't just a ritual, it's a rite of passage. This is the Rome you came for, the chaotic, beautiful heart where every corner reveals a masterpiece and where every cafe could change your life. Cross the river and things get real in Trastevere. Laundry hangs between windows, locals yell, tourists stumble on cobblestone. This is Rome in the raw. Start at Santa Maria in Trastevere. Old, golden, gorgeous, one of Rome's oldest churches and still a stunner. The mosaics in the apse date back to the 12th century and shimmer like they were installed yesterday. Trastevere is the perfect neighborhood to wander, get lost, eat something you can't pronounce, drink house wine, and talk to strangers. The neighborhood has such a good vibe and eats. We have a food tour centered in this neighborhood. Some of our favorite spots: order an aperitivo at Freni e Frizzoni, grab a cacio e pepe at Da Teo, or nurse a beer with locals at the No Frills classic Bar Callisto. This is Rome at its most lived in, buzzing, boisterous, and beautifully imperfect. Don't forget to check out Tiber Island. Half hospital, half hangout. Grab a drink by the water. Pretend you live here. The island was once a place of healing, home to an ancient temple dedicated to Escapulaeus, the god of medicine. Cross the river and slow down. Here, it's all about the local flavor, boisterous piazzas, soul-stirring churches, and late-night wine with strangers. Rome gets refined at the Villa Borghese. Museums, parks, and terraces with views so perfect, it feels like a movie. Start at the Borghese Gallery. Bernini didn't just sculpt marble, he bent it to his will. Reserve your ticket and don't screw this up, because this is like shoving the Louvre into a Roman villa. The Apollo and Daphne sculptures captures the exact moment she transforms into a tree. It's a freeze frame of myth in motion. Wander then the Villa Borghese gardens. Rent a bike, walk, stroll, feed a duck, breathe. It was once a private estate of Cardinal Scipione Borghese, who had a serious taste for art and excess. Climb to the Pincio Terrace, which is right at the edge of Piazza del Popolo and the Villa Borghese.
This one here is called the Pincio, near the Spanish Steps, and it overlooks Piazza del Popolo, one of the biggest squares right here in Rome.
Elegance lives in the Villa Borghese. It's where Rome takes a breath, art behind palace walls, and where a sunset will stop you in your tracks.
Well, that's it for our time here in Rome. There's so much to see here in the Eternal City. Now you have a good idea of how to prioritize your travels. I'm Angel Castellanos for the tour guide. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and smash that bell so you can find our next video.